Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is June 25th, 1999.
It is. The year is flying by.
Before we get into the news, Carol, we have an announcement to make to everybody.
Yeah.
You don't want me to?
I guess.
Are you not sold on it?
I don't know. I think I am.
Oh, okay. Having second doubts. I can wait. If you want me to wait.
I think you should wait.
All right, let's wait.
All right.
Who's not going to wait, though, is Stephen King, who was hit by a car.
Oh, no.
Yeah, almost killed. Leg crushed. Ribs broken.
Oh, my God.
Lung collapsed. He remains in intensive care.
Poor guy.
Fan favorite of the show and us, Stephen King.
I guess it'll be a while before he's writing more books.
Yeah, I would like him to finish The Dark Tower. He was almost killed.
Finish The Dark Tower before you die, please.
Yeah, please. We can't live without it. And you can't live without not being hit by a car, apparently. No, it's really sad. And we pray for a speedy recovery for Mr. Stephen King there.
Yes, we do.
Let's see what else I've got here. Ooh. Cell phones, SUVs stamped as 90s icons, Carol.
Cell phones, SUVs. What?
Yeah.
Like separate items?
Yeah,
Like they're not combining cell phones and SUVs together.
No.
We're not going to put a cell phone into the SUV.
That would be disastrous. You'd be talking on the phone and getting into car accidents. Americans have chosen cellular phones, the movie Titanic, Recovering Species, and the Special Olympics as subjects for a set of stamps to commemorate the 1990s.
Oh, interesting.
The Postal Service announced the results of the voting Thursday. Cellular phones took first place with 214,449 votes. The blockbuster movie Titanic was second with 210,154 votes.
Makes sense.
The post office will release sets of 15 stamps to commemorate the major people and events of each decade in this century.
Oh.
Topics for the first 5 decades were chosen by a postal advisory board. Public votes were held to pick the winners for the last 5 decades. The 1990 stamp will be released in April of 2000. Besides the cell phones and Titanic, the winning subjects for the 90s set are Recovering Species, the World Wide Web, the movie Jurassic Park, computer art and graphics.
How do you make computer art and graphics into a stamp?
That's going to be the challenge of the, I guess, artists at the post office. I never really thought about it, but I guess they do have artists.
I mean, those are like some serious ideas to put into a little tiny piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. Sport utility vehicles, the Persian Gulf War, and virtual reality.
Virtual reality?
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
What the fuck? How does virtual reality define the 90s?
Yeah, I mean, there's that movie Lawnmower Man.
Well, and
I don't know.
There was an episode of Mad About You where they had virtual reality and they went and he used it to cheat on Jamie. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah.
She was pretty pissed. So it's not it.
Mad about cheating about you.
It's not like it doesn't exist, but it's certainly not definitive of the decade. I don't think most people have it.
I don't think most people have it. I don't think most people have used it.
Yeah.
I think it's an idea of the decade, I guess. People talk about it a lot, but yeah, it's not a reality for sure. I agree with that.
I feel like it might be, in 50 years, maybe that'll be their defining stamp, like cell phones for us.
Right. Some of the losers of the poll were diversity.
Wow.
Diversity always loses. Active older Americans, sustained economic growth, inline skating, and junior golf.
I think all of those should have lost, except for junior golf, maybe. I like junior golf. But junior golf could be the 80s, too.
What about diversity?
What about diversity? It's not a great idea for a stamp.
What do you think junior golf is?
Like mini golf or putt-putt golf.
No, it's not.
Oh. Well, what is
I had
it?
a feeling when you said that could be for the 80s. You knew everything about fucking junior golf.
What is it?
It's just a level of golf.
Oh. Oopsie.
Oh my goodness! It was made popular by the fact that Tiger Woods was, good at it. What about the click heard around the world, Carol?
What?
Have you seen TNT's movie, Pirates of Silicon Valley, about Steve Jobs and what's his name? Bill Gates, William Gates.
Do you think that I've seen it? Because I have not.
TNT movie about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates merrily cyber surfs back to the personal computer days. Here's the cool thing about Pirates of Silicon Valley. You don't have to know diddly about computers or software to enjoy the entertaining portrait of geek visionaries as young men. Mike Duffy, I'm sure you don't know anything about computers, so...
Right?
It's a breezy, irreverent odyssey of the modern information age that engagingly humanizes Apple computer founder Steve Jobs. Bad guy. Don't look into him too hard. Bad guy. And Microsoft moneybags Bill Gates, rival dynamos who famously jousted for cyberspace superiority. Noah Wyle from ER is Steve Jobs, and Anthony Michael Hall from every movie in the 1980s is Bill Gates. Check it out.
It sounds not good.
I'm not really interested in it, but yeah. I also don't think they're doing a real portrait of Steve Jobs, because like I said, bad guy. Just ask his children. Anyway. What about Jay Leno? Another guy I don't like. Jay Leno, the car collector, knows a lemon when he sees one. The Tonight Show host was presiding over a Peterson Automotive Museum auction recently when bidding opened up for the privilege of dinner with the museum director, Ken Gross. Leno decided it wouldn't be much of a moneymaker. How much will you pay to not have dinner with Ken Gross? Leno asked the crowd of 1,300 at the museum gala. The audience immediately surged to the podium with $20 bills, which were collected by Gross himself. In under 3 minutes, more than $500 was raised.
That's weird.
To insult a guy. Yeah, Jay Leno's an asshole. In my opinion.
I know you mentioned before you didn't like him when you covered that movie about him.
There was a movie about him?
Wasn't there?
I don't know. What movie you're talking about?
The one from HBO.
Oh, did we actually cover that?
Yeah.
Oh, the late shift. Yeah. Wow. Time flies, Carol, when you're having fun, right?
See, we've been doing it too long. Can't even remember all the episodes we've made.
I'm saying, but we're holding back, huh?
I mean, just go ahead and do it.
No, I'm not going to do it. We'll talk about it later. What about Love It or Hate It, Carol? Marie Claire magazine exhausts untold resources to get big names to describe turn-ons and turn-offs. We deign to begin with the turn-ons. Heather Locklear is turned on by the is turned on by the nape of the neck. I could sleep there. It smells so good.
Ew.
Says she. I guess it depends on whose nape you're talking about.
That's a interesting thing. Okay.
Sandra Bullock proclaims, "I love unabashed directness. I don't like hemming and hawing. It just gives me time to think about walking away."
So you want her, you go for it.
Now don't assault her in the street, though, guys. It's not an invitation.
Right.
Then there's the turn-offs. Shannon Doherty says her suit is hands off.
Okay.
That means hairy. If men take their shirt off and it's like they have another shirt on, it's not appealing at all. Callista Flockhart won't go out with folks who bungle her name. Oh. I can't stand it, she says, when guys put an extra letter in there, like calling me Callistra.
Ew. Why would somebody do that?
I don't know. It's Callista Flockhart. So I guess, I don't know. If you want,
she would sleep with you.
If you want, because I can say her name.
You can say her name.
Well, yeah.
Say my name, say my name.
I was thinking about that. If no one else is around you, say, "Baby, I love you." In Cosmopolitan magazine, there's this tale from Kurt Russell and Goldrith Hawn about Adam and Eving it on a private island. We were all alone, recalled Han, and we took off all of our clothes, and he put a flower in his hair, and I put on a fig leaf and tied it around me.
Okay.
What the fuck? What a weird story to just tell people.
So did they just go to like a private island and play, and they're writing a story about it?
Well, they're not writing a story. It's just, I mean, well, yeah, you mean the newspaper's writing a story?
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know.
That's really weird. That's like a really weird, like they're rich people with too much time on their hands.
Yeah. I really like,
I don't want to hear about it.
I like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, but that story makes me like them a little bit less.
Right?
Now, we watched Large Father this week.
Yes, we did.
And we don't usually do this, but I wanted to point out the review in our own Detroit Free Press here.
Okay.
It says, "Oh, grow up." Big Daddy proves Adam Sandler's infantile shtick is growing tiresome.
Wow.
Yeah, not fans, apparently. It says, Adam Sandler portrays a slacker who learns a few lessons when he adopts a 5-year-old. The child is... Oh, yeah, he is 5. That's right. Julian is the little tyke in need of a father. Joey Lauren Adams is the woman who winds up with the boys. Okay. If what's funny is they give it 2 out of... This is Terry Lawson, the local critic here. He gives it 2 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Or 4, I'm sorry, 2 out of 4 stars.
That's not good.
It's not good, but it's not terrible. If the popularity of Adam Sandler movies isn't really a sign of cinema's and society's denigrating standards, how quickly we've forgotten Chevy Chase. I assume that means that that he's saying like Chevy Chase movies are also infantile, because some of them are. There's a few that are very great, but there are some that, yeah. I believe his full name, by the way, is Chevrolet Chase. It does validate the recent Dick Giddon cartoon in which a man gazes at a personal watercraft being advertised by a sign that reads, "Bring out the idiot within you."
What?
Sandler wears his own idiocy as a state of grace, and his shtick is not so much juvenile as infantile, with everything from his silly make-em-ups as I go along songs to his love of loogies. Sandler is the bad little boy you love anyway. He gets away with what old, responsible you cannot. So, I think that is a good segue into a discussion of Big Daddy. Carol, what did you think of Big Daddy?
I actually really liked it.
Did you?
Yeah, like for most Adam Sandler movies, I would agree. Like, I don't usually like his sense of humor. I do think that he's really immature.
You hated Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, which we've both of which we saw.
Yeah, but I did really enjoy Big Daddy, and I mean the infantile humor or whatever worked because it's supposed to be an immature dude taking care of a little boy. Like,
yeah.
The only thing that like I really didn't like humor wise was when they did the loogies. That was gross.
Yeah, neither of us like gross humor very much.
And I mean, yeah, it was gross, like when the kid like peed the bed and he just put paper down on it, or he threw up and he put paper, but it was also kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think they're being a little too hard on him. I mean, I think they're criticizing him as a person and his entire career more so than just this movie.
I agree. I think that's more of a critique of the filmography than it is the movie in particular.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was aggressively okay.
What? How can it be aggressively okay?
It was just like, it was very, very okay.
Explain.
It's the most okay you can be.
Without being bad or good?
It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. I thought it was a very serviceable movie.
Okay.
It was mildly humorous. It was mostly inoffensive, and the few like logical things that it doesn't really nail is like, it's you chalk it up to, well, it's just a silly movie. That's kind of how, like, there's a couple parts in the screenplay where you can see the screenwriter being like, it's just a silly movie, don't take it seriously.
Sure. I mean, like the courtroom scene for sure.
The courtroom scene's a mess.
Yeah.
The courtroom scene is like, I mean, obviously, no realism whatsoever. Like, My Cousin Vinny is a great example of a comedy movie that took the courtroom stuff and the procedure of courtroom stuff pretty seriously.
Right.
And it's, for the most part, it's, besides the fact that all the lawyers walk into the well all the time and everything like that and go right up to the stand, and that's not something they usually do. But besides that, it's pretty realistic, and all the objections are pretty realistic. This movie, not at all. But you can forgive it because it's not about the courtroom thing. It's a dumb comedy.
Yeah. So, I mean, the premise of the movie is that Adam Sandler apparently won, like, what did they say, $200,000?
Yes.
2 years ago when he got his foot run over by a taxi and he sued. So he's living off the interest, and he's working 1 day a week in a toll booth.
Yeah, he's got it in the stock market, so he's presumably earning dividend checks.
Right.
Or whatever. He is able to afford his own place and everything.
Yeah.
It's a pretty nice apartment in New York.
It sounds like he was in law school when this happened and just didn't finish, or finished and didn't take the bar, or...
They actually explain that at the beginning. They don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like I just scolded you, like we're in school or something like that. It was subtle, but they explained it at the beginning. His dad called him, and he said, why don't you do the bar, sonny? Why don't you take your bar exam? And he's like, no, you're the lawyer in the family, Dad, not me. And I thought to myself, the only way he would be eligible to take a bar exam is if he finished law school. So he must have finished law school.
So he's like just on the precipice of becoming a lawyer and quote unquote making something of himself, and instead took this opportunity to like just opt out.
Right. And him suing they make it clear that like the cab just ran over his foot. It was like very minor or whatever. And that with some legal brilliance of his or whatever, that he was able to get this big settlement from the cab company. Later at the party, all of his friends are lawyers. Because he met them all in law school. Including Jon Stewart of The Daily Show. But one of his lawyer friends is like, oh, yeah, there's this case, we're doing this, and, like, I can't figure this out or whatever. And Adam Sandler is like, why don't you try suing him, based on this whatever, case law or obscure piece of, legal stuff or whatever. He's like, oh, my God, you're a genius. And then he's like, I got to go back to the thing and do what you said. And so it's established that he's very smart law-wise, but he doesn't want to be a lawyer, I guess because he doesn't want to grow up.
Yeah, and he really doesn't seem to like his father, so that probably is part of it as well.
It's Peter Pan syndrome.
Yeah.
I think, as the movie establishes later, I think it comes down to he doesn't really understand his father.
Sure. Makes sense.
And then, spoilers, but towards the end of the movie, he begins to understand his father.
Yeah, and then his roommates is leaving for China.
Are they roommates? Like, I wasn't 100% sure. I guess they are.
Yeah, they're roommates.
Because they both come back to the apartment, right? It's Jon Stewart.
They have separate bedrooms in this apartment.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's where the little boy is sleeping in his roommate's bed.
They weren't cuddling together, you sure?
I'm quite sure that the grown-ass Adam Sandler was not spooning a little boy in this movie. That would be a little
I'm talking about him and Jon Stewart.
No.
Keep up.
You keep up.
No, Jon Stewart's with Leslie Mann.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was kind of odd about this movie is the horribly egregious Hooters product placement. They're talking about it fucking all the time.
Yeah.
And then they go to Hooters at the end. I thought it was maybe kind of a coincidence in Happy Gilmore when they literally had a Subway commercial in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, but I think Adam Sandler really likes product placement in his movies.
I've never been to Hooters. Not once.
Good for you. You could work there.
Thanks. I did own a Hooters shirt briefly, but never been to a Hooters.
When you said thanks, was that a true thanks, or was that just like, fuck you?
Half and half.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've been to Hooters before.
I'm sure you have.
Why? Why are you sure I have?
Because you like boobs and wings.
Yeah, their wings in it. Their food is not good. Here's the secret, everybody. Hooters food is not good. It's bad. It's not good food. There are many restaurants that make much better food, and if you're a chef at Hooters, I'm sorry, but your food sucks. I do like boobs, but mostly I went with a couple friends of mine that wanted to go. I've never actively wanted to go to Hooters.
Gotcha. But
And I've only been a couple times.
Yeah, Hooters is a huge thing throughout the movie.
Yes.
But so Adam Sandler's roommate is gone to China and why? For some legal thing.
Yeah, he's going to work at an office there. He's setting up he's like setting up the office, or he's doing some kind of he's not going to be gone forever. It's like a few months thing, but he needs to set things up. And they're having a big going away party for him.
But a little boy just shows up on his doorstep with a note.
Yeah.
Who does that? What kind of psychotic bitch leaves their child?
Wow, you're talking, so don't die around Carol. She'll speak ill of the dead. She doesn't give a fuck.
No. She
No.
She brought him there and left him.
Yeah.
She could have at least made sure that he was with the right person, or somebody was going to take responsibility for him.
How do you know she brought him? Because the whatever the delivery guy brings him in. Some like newspaper dude or something like that. Like, hey, this kid was downstairs trying to get in or whatever.
So what do you think happened?
I don't know. Like, maybe she dropped him off, like on the street or whatever, which is even worse, and then went to the hospital to die. I don't know.
But I'm saying
the logistics of this doesn't make any sense. I agree.
She should have brought him herself to the door to make sure somebody was going to take care of him.
What happens in 3 Men and a Baby?
Same thing.
Yeah, so is she a bitch, too?
Yes.
Even in the second movie, when her and fucking Tom Selleck end up together?
Still a
Your
bitch.
celebrity crush?
Still a bitch.
Yeah, I know. You fucking hate her because she got Tom Selleck.
I just think it's a very wrong thing. But yes, the little boy shows up on the doorstep just like, as you said, 3 men and a baby. Mm-hmm. And it's his roommate's baby. But he's 5 years old.
Yeah.
And the note from the mom says that there's a foster family set up for this kid. Here's a thought.
Yeah,
she already has a foster family set up. Why don't you have social services get him in touch with his dad?
Yeah. Why don't you put him in the foster family and then tell social services, hey, here's his dad's information. Please, I'm dying. Can you contact him? I would rather him be with his father, but if for whatever reason he doesn't want to take responsibility because we had sex one night in fucking Toronto. You know, like, it's really weird. She doesn't know anything about this guy. He could be a fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. She doesn't know.
Right. Another reason why she sucks. But, so Adam Sandler is like, oh, we'll just hang out until the social services opens in the morning. But in the meantime, he just falls in love with this kid.
Well, it's more, he doesn't fall in love with the kid right away. Like, you can kind of see him falling in love with the kid, I guess. But what he wants is his girlfriend, Christy Swanson, the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the not as good Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
right,
breaks up with him because he's a fucking loser. Like, she makes the correct decision for her in her life. She doesn't want a purposeless asshole as a boyfriend anymore. So Adam Sandler decides, she wants me to show responsibility. I will go to her with this child and say, I am now responsible. I have adopted a child for us to raise together without telling you in any way the height of responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
So that's his plan.
And then they show up and at her apartment, and it turns out that she is cheating on him.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Or, well, she broke up with him, so...
Kind of, like she's like, I'm going to Buffalo or whatever to visit my family, and, like, we need to think about things. She didn't fully break up with him.
That's true.
But, then she's like, I met somebody else in Buffalo.
And it turns out to be some old dude.
Yeah, very old man.
Which, all kinds of dumb jokes about him being old. But it is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of... Especially because Christy Swanson's a very attractive woman.
Right.
But it's It's another Adam Sandler staple. I'm noticing some patterns in the movies he's making.
Okay.
It's another Adam Sandler staple, making fun of someone who's different than the norm or whatever. Like, he's old. We're going to make fun of him for being old. There are two characters that are lawyers that are gay, and it's mentioned a couple times of like, oh, you know, it's weird or whatever, and Adam Sandler's like, it's not weird. They're just like, you know, they're just like our old friends, you know, or whatever. They have sex with each other now or what. But a few different times they kiss or say something loving to each other or whatever, and there's no joke. That's the joke. The joke is they're gay and they love each other. And it's the laziest fucking writing ever. Like, what's the joke? We're really supposed to laugh at them just being like, oh, I love you, and kissing each other, and it's like, no, funny.
Are we?
Yes. The scenes are shot and set up like they're jokes, but there are no jokes. So that's the part that's one of the parts I didn't like about the movie, and that's another thing of like making fun of people who are different.
Yeah.
What I thought worked really, really well in the movie is Adam Sandler and this little kid's chemistry together. They really play off each other well, and it's very believable that they, you know, start to love each other.
There's a scene in the movie where he takes him to McDonald's for breakfast.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of that movie Falling Down. I think that's what it's called.
With Kirk Douglas. Yes.
Where they freak out because the breakfast stopped being served at 10:30 instead of 11.
Yeah, the guy,
Why?
Michael Douglas freaks out.
Why would they ever do that? Who wants a full, like, fucking Big Mac at 10:35 in the morning? No one.
I agree. I agree with you.
It's stupid.
Breakfast should go till 11. I agree with you. But, juxtaposing it with the movie Falling Down is actually very funny, because I think we're supposed to think that Adam Sandler's the hero, and he's like freaking out, like, what the fuck? Yeah! You know how he does with the yelling and stuff like that. And the kid starts crying, and he's like, get the kid a Big Mac!
No, get the kid a Happy Meal.
A Happy Meal or whatever, yeah. I think some people, like, especially younger people, watch the movie Falling Down and they're like, oh yeah, that guy's badass. He's talking about all the stupid shit that's wrong with society and everything and stuff like that. But as you get older and you mature, you realize, yeah, Michael Douglas is not the hero of that movie. Michael Douglas is the villain. He's literally a mentally unstable asshole who's having like just a complete mental breakdown. And all the people that he terrorizes along the way inside, like, they're all the victims of this movie. And it's very clear that that's the point when you watch it again. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. The first time I watched Falling Down, I was like, oh yeah, let's fucking tell them off about about the thing. Fuck them, you know, like, or whatever. It's like yelling in traffic or something like that. But then you watch it again and you realize, oh, this guy's an asshole. But so it's funny to juxtapose those two things because that's how he comes off, as an asshole.
Well, Adam Sandler is an asshole throughout most of the movie. I mean, truly.
Which is funny because he's supposed to be just a really, really nice guy in real life.
Is he?
Yes. Huh. Everyone says he's like the nicest fucking guy.
Well, I think, okay, that's interesting because, like, I think he thinks that the characters he writes are good and okay people.
I think he does too, but like I don't think I don't know Adam Sandler from Adam. I get it. But from things I've read, all the like the celebrities and the people he's worked with all say he's great, and every fan interaction I've ever heard says he's super nice too. Like everyone thinks he's like the nicest guy and very soft spoken and like actually not like big and boisterous in real life. So like I feel like this is like the movies he makes is maybe just like another side of his personality that he only lets come out in the movies or whatever. Being like big and, you know, bold like that or whatever. And it makes me wish I liked his movies more. Because you know, like I said, this one's not bad.
No, like, that's so funny because I thought you really liked like Billy Madison and stuff. I thought you liked those movies.
Yeah, when we first saw them 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I liked them. I'm liking them less. Although I do still like Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
Billy Madison is yeah, and I did like The Wedding Singer, and I still like that movie.
Yeah.
But there are things in that movie too where, like George, he's making fun of George for being different.
Yeah.
It's like there are things that he does that like it just I don't like. So
Well, just like Jim Carrey, he's growing on me.
Okay. I think Adam Sandler's actually a decent actor, and I think Jim Carrey's a very good actor actually. But I think Adam Sandler's actually a good actor for very, very specific things. If you get a director, and I'd love to see this, if you get a director that knows, that has a vision for a movie, like an actual good movie, I'd love to see him in a good movie, that has a vision for like an actual good movie and puts him in a very specific role of like, you need to do this and this, like the 2 or 3 things that he does really well acting wise, then I think he could excel. But he's not a well-rounded actor. I think Jim Carrey is a much more well-rounded actor than he is.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's so much of it is putting them in positions to be successful, and I don't think either of them are nearly as funny as, 1, most people do, and 2, as they think they are.
Okay.
Like, I think both of them are a lot funnier pulled back, more understated. Jim Carrey has a couple really like funny lines in the Truman Show that are just like understated lines, quick, kind of like like almost like Chandler lines from Friends.
Sure.
He can do that, and I think it's better when he does that than when he does the whoa righty then.
I hate that.
Me too. Smoking.
Okay. Back to Adam Sandler. I don't want to go down the bad Jim Carrey.
Remember that from 3 fucking
hole.
years ago or whatever?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
No good.
Every fucking 14-year-old in the world. Smoking. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. I had some things to get off my chest there.
Apparently.
Where are we going from here?
I don't know. What was the thing that you liked most about the movie?
I think the relationship between Adam Sandler and the kid Julian is what works the best about the movie, honestly. I think the resolution of the plot is also satisfying.
Yes.
They don't just end up together, which I think is good because that's unrealistic. Jon Stewart's getting married to Leslie Mann, and Jon Stewart ends up taking the child. Jon Stewart also ends up standing up for him in the courtroom and everything so that he doesn't go to jail for defrauding social services.
And kidnapping?
Yeah, which he totally could.
Yeah.
But
that didn't even really occur to me until they said it in court that's kidnapping. But
yeah, he gave false information to obtain a child. Yeah, it's fucked up. He could have been a child. He wasn't, but he could have been a child molester.
True.
Obviously, and honestly, that says bad things about social services. No paperwork. They didn't even check.
Right.
They didn't even need to see his license. Just like, here's your kid.
They were gonna mail it to him.
Hey, is your name this? There you go. There's a kid.
Right. Yeah. Crazy.
And like I said, my least favorite parts were but everything like. One thing, too, that didn't work 100% for me was Joey Lauren Adams from Chasing Amy, and she has a small role in Mallrats, but very good in Chasing Amy. Very good actress. Her relationship with Adam Sandler, it's I don't know. I don't see it develop enough, I don't think. I mean, obviously they spend more time on him and Julian, and I think that's good. That's the relationship that is the core of the movie. But it just, I don't know. I wonder why she falls for him. Like, what is it about him? Is it because she's so serious all the time?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, when they went on their date and, she was talking about that, like, how she is, like, so, like, stressed and rigid and everything. He's like, well, you do that, and then at night have fun with me. Like, I think she needed that.
Yeah. He does end up becoming a lawyer, though, at the end of the movie.
Which is good, because obviously, like you pointed out, that, he had a legal mind, so why waste it?
And they have their own, a legal mind is a terrible thing to waste. And they end up having their own baby.
Yeah. I don't know if they're married or not, but they had a baby. Did they say that?
They didn't say it.
I miss everything apparently in this movie.
They didn't say it, but I think it's heavily implied they're married.
Sure.
And Christy Swanson ends up working at Hooters.
Which is, poetic justice and hilarious.
But it's also the worst thing in the world to be a Hooters girl, apparently, because they make fun of Leslie Mann for that, and then they make fun of Christy Swanson for that.
Well, what's funny about it, though, is because she said she left him for the old man because the old man had a 5-year plan, and then he's flipping burgers at Hooters.
Yeah, I mean...
And now this guy's a lawyer, so...
But she's, I do kind of, it's not wrong of her to want to be with someone who, actually has their shit together.
No, agreed. He was not in a good place when the movie started and when they were together.
I think it would have been even more poetic if she came back and the old guy died or whatever, and she had her life together, and she just comes and says, "Hey, it looks like you've got your life together too. I respect you and respect that." And he says, "I'm sorry that I couldn't be the man that for you that I am now, but I hope that you have a good life." And she's like, "Thank you. We mutually respect each other."
Yeah, that wouldn't have been funny.
That's why I don't write comedies, Carol.
Okay.
No, I know. It's the whole point is that she has to get her comeuppance. I wish she was a little more evil, though. I wish that she had been actively cheating for a long time at Adam Sandler, and that had come out or something like that. If there was a reason, we could be like, "Oh, what an asshole!"
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that would have been better, but oh well. That's all I have to say about the movie, though. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, I think I'm good.
Like I said, it's fine. It's aggressively fine.
I thought it was better than fine.
You don't need to see it in the theater. Wait for it to come out on Blockbuster. You can watch it in your house.
Agreed.
And I would recommend watching it. I wouldn't say skip it. You can watch it.
It's very cute and funny.
But that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people where they can get their own child.
Okay. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
We traffic children there.
Write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Mm-hmm.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Okay, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.